I'm Thinker161, and I'm going to talk about something really quickly. I'm in my car, I just got off of work, and I am going to be on my way home. But before I do that, I just thought I would film really quick about our need for approval. I think it's really interesting how we find we always need to prove ourselves to someone, and how we always want recognition as to say we're doing a good job, keep up the good work. I think as a people, as human beings, as people in general, we do that. We always feel the need to have someone say, give us a pat on the back to say, hey, keep up the good work, you're doing good, you know, I'm proud of you. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think we become dependent on those things. And I'm just trying to figure out why. You know, we go through these days, we go through life, and life is a struggle every day for everyone in their own way. I don't think there's anyone who's living this life who can say there's not sometimes when you struggle, sometimes when you feel like I'm really pushing just to make it today. You know, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it may be, emotionally, you know, we all come to that place where it's like, man, I'm really just pushing just to make it, you know, where it becomes, I just want to stay in bed all day. But you know, you can't, and you have to push. You have to find something really deep down in you and push just to make it. And we push and we push and we push, but at the end of the day, why are we pushing? You know, and I'm trying to get to what are our motives, what are our motivations, you know. As I talk to different people, and they will ask, like, people ask you questions like that, like, what inspires you, what are your motivations, why do you do what you do? And sometimes I don't know the answer. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I understand why I live the way I live, or why I behave the way I behave, why I am the way that I am, you know. But there's sometimes where I'm just like, I don't know. That's how God made me. And, you know, to go back to the pushing part, or to go back to the approval part, it's like, why do we so need people's approval? Why are we so dependent on whether or not someone thinks we're doing the right thing or not, making the right choices or not? You know, I believe that we should just be seeking God's approval. Is God pleased with my life? Sometimes I believe God will allow you to do something or make you do things that other people don't understand. Other people are not going to approve of. Other people are going to say, what is your problem? What are you doing? That's wrong. Like, turn back, go back. You're going the wrong way. And you just feel something driving you to go in a different direction, a completely different direction than where you were originally going, you know. And you know, you look up one day and you realize, wow, this is all for my good. Wow, I'm in a much better place than if I would have stayed where I was, if I would have continued on the road that I was going down. I'm so much happier. I'm so much freer. I'm so much more prosperous. You know, we don't know the mind of God, and we don't know what God's intentions are for us. And I say all of this just to say that don't let other people's opinions about what you may be doing. I am all for taking in everything. I'm always asking someone how they feel about certain things. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? And while I'll take it, and while I'll accept it, I'll accept their response, I'll accept their opinions on a certain subject or on a certain thing that I ask them. But at the end of the day, I have to live my life to please God and please myself. I have to do what makes me happy, and I implore everyone else to do the same. And I would hope that we're striving to live this life to be happy, to be successful, whatever success means to you in your own way, to be abundant, and to be, you know, to live life. I was saying to myself a few days ago that I don't want to just exist in this life. You know, I don't want to just be here to be here, just to survive daily, you know, just to make ends meet and to have a nice car, have a nice house, you know, just to have a job people think is cool. No, I want to do something in this life. I want to be great. I want to make a stand. I want to make something happen. I want to do things that are important, you know. And a friend of mine, she was like, in the same place. And, you know, I think a lot of us sometimes have that kind of, am I here just to be here, or am I here to actually do something? You know, that's where God comes in. Before I was saved, I used to think all the time, why am I here? What's the point? You know, we all have those thoughts of why. What is it? What, like, there has to be something more. Why am I here? What's my true purpose to being here? When I got saved, it became clear, but I still ask the question, but now I ask it to God, because I understand that He's purposed me to be here. There is a purpose for me to be here. I'm not just here because, you know, it happened and it, you know, one day you just magically appeared. It's not so. There was a plan and a purpose. And so I still have those wondering questions as to what am I supposed to be doing? But now I just focus them towards God, and I pray to Him to say, Father, what am I supposed to be doing? You know, it's interesting to me that we would want to do something in life, and because someone else doesn't agree, or that because someone else doesn't think it's a good idea, we would stop. Or we would be wanting to achieve something, have a dream, and then because someone thinks it's not practical enough, or because someone thinks it's not going to make you wealthy, or because someone thinks that they don't understand why you would want to do that, because they think it's too much work, or it's too hard, or why would you want to struggle when you're already, you know, when you can just do this, it's so much easier, and you can, you know, make money doing this. But they don't understand sometimes it's a push. Sometimes you feel it down in your gut to say, you know what, I got to do this. I don't know why. I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't know what's happening, but I got to do it. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay for us to try those feelings. Now, I'm a young lady. And it's interesting to me when I talk to, not old people, but older folk. When I talk to older people and they're like, oh, well, you know, but I have, you know, a mortgage, and I have children, and I have this, and I completely understand that. I completely get it. However, I also believe that you can keep your security and still strive to do what you're supposed to do. Still strive some way, somehow make it happen. Pray to the Father and He will open up that door. I don't believe that God would take you to your destiny and leave you desolate. Bless the name of Jesus. I don't believe that He would, you know, take you out of safety. I don't believe that. I don't believe that you would pray to Him and say, Lord, I'm feeling this, I'm going to go after it, and He wouldn't make the way clear. Bless God. And so I can understand it, but are we living this life just to be here? And if we are, then that's not cool. And are we living this life just to please someone else who's not God? If we are, that's not cool. We need to be happy in this life. I was walking just now from work, and these young little children, it must have been like 5 or 4, and like the moms were ahead of them, and you know, they were just like laughing and playing and like running up, and the mom turned around and was like, oh, come on. And I thought to myself that they're living, these young ladies are right now living, these little girls are living to please their mom, they're living to please their dad, they're living to please their parents. And God is our Father, so we should, as adults, be living to please Him. You know, I love my mom more than anything else in this whole entire world. And in this world, I love Jesus. But in this world, my mom is it. And I live my life hoping that she's pleased with it. Bless God. And I live my life hoping that my family is pleased, and that I am something they can be proud of. But at the end of the day, if they don't approve, I would still live it. And at the end of the day, if sometimes they don't understand certain things or certain choices that I make, I'm still going to live it, you know. And so it because I know that sometimes we will revert backwards because we're not sure that the person who we love and the person we care about will understand, or we don't want someone to be upset with us, or to be, I'm trying to find the word, disappointed. But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be so. It should be, yes, I understand. And yeah, listen, sometimes we be acting crazy, I know. Sometimes we need that guidance, I know. You know, but have a clear head on your shoulders. Have a solid head on your shoulders. You know, my mom raised me correctly. And even though I mess up often, she still raised me correctly to have a good head on my shoulders, to think logically, to think clinically, you know, and to think clearly, and I probably think a little too much. That's not really her fault, but I overthink everything and overanalyze everything and repeat it back into my head. And if it don't make sense, I'm not doing it. And then when it still doesn't make sense, but I want to do it anyway, I'm going to go to her and say, hey, listen, you know, and she may say no. And then I have to weigh her no. You know what I mean? I have to think about her no. Why is she saying no? What are her reasonings for saying no? This is not about my mom by any means, this video, but she's just an example. And so this is just a ramble, a few of my thoughts, and what I would hope you took away from it would be to think about your life. Think about the way you are. Think about who you are. Think about who God wants you to be. Think about who you want to be. And are you doing that? What steps are you making toward that? Are you happy? And if you're not, what are you doing to fix that? So yes, those are my thoughts. Think on that. I'm still trying to get my YouTube life together, but bear with me. I have a few thoughts on what I want, like where I want it to go. I know it's all over the place, but thank you for those who watch. Thank you for those who like. Thank you for those who are subscribing. It's up and coming, but we'll work on it. And so think on that. Think on your happiness. Think on your future. Think on what God desires you to be. Think on God and how much He loves you. Think on it. So if you have anything to say regarding what I said, I know it was a whole lot. I just kind of spat it out, but sorry, that's how I roll sometimes. Peace.